Stuffy, drippy nose is no fun, and it's that time of year. The commercial show, that lady in the bathrobe with all her Kleenexes, miserable, and this medicine is going to cure it. Now doctors are saying the top nasal decongestant used by many brands does basically nothing. It's called phenylephrine. FDA advisors say new studies show when taken orally, it performs as well as a placebo at reducing congestion. The advisory committee voted unanimously today against the drug's effectiveness. Now the FDA could pull the meds from its list of effective over-the-counter drugs, could leave you with nasal sprays or maybe drops with phenylephrine, which seem to be more effective here. The drug has been sold over the counter for decades at this point. So what does that mean for stuffy noses in your house this year? Dr. Susanna Hills is with us, board-certified pediatric ear, nose, and throat specialist, pediatric airway surgeon with Columbia University Medical Center. Dr. Hills, glad to have you back. It's been a while. So are these medicines for sure going to be pulled? Because they said maybe nasal sprays are better. My understanding is you're not supposed to use those for more than maybe 2 or 3 days because you can become dependent on them. What are you supposed to use?
That chance is exactly what everyone wants to know as cold and flu season comes upon us. What do we do if we don't have these medications? I think it's highly likely they will be pulled from the shelves. And I've never been a big fan of recommending them. I think they probably should be pulled from the shelves. At this point, we can see from the data we have, and we have good data from studies that have been done since 2016, that they really don't help at all, but they can cause significant side effects. They can cause spikes in blood pressure if they're not used correctly. And they can be illegally processed into methamphetamine. So really, the benefits just aren't there, and they probably should be pulled from the shelves, and I bet that they will.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so if going back to 2016 or so, we knew maybe they're not so effective. Why have we been allowed to buy and guzzle these medicines for so long?
Well, it's taken a little bit of time to get the data that the FDA has needed. The original studies that were used to support approval of the medications from decades ago have been found to be very flawed. And at this point, we've just accrued enough good data to really support the fact that they don't nasal congestion. Fortunately, there are some other good options for people. Again, the hard reality is that nothing is perfect for nasal congestion when you get sick. So we don't have a cure yet for the common cold or for viruses. We have vaccines that help you from getting as sick as you might, but nothing's perfect. The medications that I'll
Hmm.
typically recommend to folks instead of phenylephrine-based products are, for example, nasal steroid sprays. And for some people who don't want to use a nasal steroid spray, like for fluticasone, for example, is an example of a nasal steroid spray, or an
What about
antihistamine that you can take by mouth. Those can also be fairly effective and decrease swelling in a similar way.
What about a natural option? Like I use a neti pot. Maybe this is too much information, America. I use a
Mhm.
neti pot every night. And when I'm sick, I use it twice a day. You put your little saline packet in there, you get the water warm. It has to be, distilled water or
Mhm.
whatever. It does a really good job.
I love that. I think that is really great advice, Chance. Yeah, I love that. People who use neti pots or saline rinses for their nose clear out a lot of the irritants from the environment that are there that are causing some of this irritation and swelling. They can get rid of the stuff that gets clogged up there when you get sick. They're hugely beneficial. So I think they're great. If a saline like a neti pot or a saline rinse isn't going to work for you, then a saline nose spray can also be really helpful. And then a step beyond
Hmm.
that are those nasal steroid sprays that I just mentioned that you really can safely use. And another concern with these phenylephrine based products, by the way, is particularly in the nose spray form, is that the nose sprays can become addictive if you use them all the
Right.
time. They're addictive in the sense that when you use them, they act very quickly, they don't act for long, and then you feel like you need them again. And over time, when you use them for more than a day or two, you get rebound swelling and you feel like you have a cold all the time. So, again, phenylephrine
Oh,
based
okay.
products we're just finding have more downsides than benefits.
I'm guessing a lot of people hear this and think, well, yeah, maybe the congestion part doesn't work, but NyQuil or something helps me sleep. You're so uncomfortable when you're sick, you want to sleep, and that can help. But then you work with pediatric patients. Anything particular for kids that you would recommend?
So for me, yes, those products that cause drowsiness, I'm very wary of.
Yeah,
Sedating medications in general are just risky medications for children. And you give a
right.
kid a sedating medication, and it's easy to give too much. Melatonin, if you're having trouble sleeping, can be a very helpful sleep tool. Those products that help decrease congestion and make you more comfortable, like antihistamines, the third generation antihistamine products, they cause less drowsiness, but if you use them before bedtime, they might help you sleep a little bit, but they also can help control the swelling a bit. Rinsing your nose out, like you mentioned, with a neti pot or with saline spray, using a steroid nasal spray before you go to bed to help keep you comfortable. These are all things that can help with sleep. Those medications that help sleep because they're sedating are not the right way to get yourself rest when you're sick.
So, all told, Dr. Hills, it sounds like you think that the FDA advisory panel has it right and it would be the right move to pull a lot of these super popular medicines off the shelves.
I really do chance. Yeah. I think especially now that we're seeing that there's just no difference between taking the phenylephrine based product versus nothing at all. There's just we're seeing no benefit in the studies that have been done in recent years. It makes sense to remove them from the shelves.
Yeah. And this seems to confirm what a lot of us thought, which is I'm going to take that pill, but it doesn't seem to do it. And you're like, is something wrong with me? Do I just have a really severe cold? And maybe no, maybe it just doesn't work that well. Dr. Susanna Hills, pediatric
Mhm.
ENT, you were with us throughout COVID, and now we're moving on to some other illnesses and meds. So really helpful. Thank you.